up or down, but we'll just kind of center it right about there. Oh, awesome. That it's not square anymore, so it doesn't fit inside the bottom. You know, it actually fits up inside this piece here. This is fantastic, and it drives so easy, so well. The seat's really cushy. I really need to start driving this to work is what I need to do. What's up guys, my name is Andy. I recently did a video where I took my truck out for its first drive since I had purchased it. We're driving in the truck. And the two things that I noticed that stood out the most was the lack of the speedometer. The speedometer doesn't work, and so I had to figure that out. And the other part was the mirrors. I've never driven a car that had no mirrors. You know, always had a driver's side mirror or a rear view mirror or something like that. And driving this truck without any mirrors was really weird to, you know, be aware of your surrounding. I'm constantly looking over my shoulder both ways just to make sure that nobody was around me. I really didn't like that. So I quickly put mirrors on and got the passenger and driver mirror on, but I didn't have a rear view mirror. So what I want to do real quick is I want to get the rear view mirror put in place because that's something that I got to have in the truck. But I also noticed that the passenger mirror is kind of hard to see out of. So I got one of those convex mirrors that you can put on here that'll kind of expand the viewing range or whatever you want to call it. So seeing out this mirror, I'll be able to see a lot better. And then I also got to put in, you know, get the speedometer figured out, find out what's going on with that, and get that replaced. So let's jump right into it. I'm gonna do the easiest one first, and that's this convex mirror. And I got this is from Napa. Now here's the part number if anybody wants that. This is just a generic convex mirror, nothing fancy, but you know, it's got some adhesive on the back, which is great. But the big thing is the size. Because I've got a rectangular mirror here, I need something that's gonna fit better than, you know, than a round one that you can get like I have for my Mustang. So the fitment on this thing, it's good enough, you know, it fits right inside the mirror, kind of the shape of this mirror. So we're just gonna take these off here, and it doesn't matter which way it goes, up or down, but we'll just kind of center it right about there. There. That was pretty easy. And that's gonna extend kind of the field of view that I'll have with this mirror. Perfect, easy. The next thing I want to do is the rearview mirror, and I just got a generic mirror. This is nothing special. You know, I don't even know if it's an Ford mirror. It doesn't really matter for what I'm doing, but I need a mirror for here. And what I want to do is I'm gonna just center it. There's this part here where the two visors meet. I'll just kind of use that as the vertical center, you know, or the horizontal center of the windshield. And I'm just going to use the blue tint, thinking maybe just put this at the bottom, put the button of this mirror that we're going to glue on here at the bottom of this blue tint, kind of centered with that, and that'll get that thing pretty centrally located. It doesn't really matter. I'd like to replace the windshield down the road, so that means I'm going to have to do this again anyways. So I'm thinking something like that, somewhere in that area ought to do it. They say, you know, with the kit that you buy for installing this stuff, it comes with the glue and everything, that you can mark the outside of the window with like a crayon or something like that, so you know where to put this button piece on here. But I think as long as we get it more or less centrally located, we're going to be fine. It doesn't really matter again because I'm going to replace this windshield. So, but something like that is what I'm thinking, and then get this rear mirror up there. We're just going to squeeze that, and then that thing gets some juice in it. Put it on the, whoa, that's a lot. Put it on the window, and then you're supposed to put it on the back of this button, and make sure you put it on the correct side. We're gonna want the lip on the other side because that's what the mirror's gonna grab onto. And then just once you put that on there, just let it sit for 5 minutes. We'll let that sit up, and we'll come back in 5 minutes. All right, now it's been 5 minutes. What we want to do now is take this, what do you call this, glue or whatever the stuff that comes with it. Take this part and you want to apply it to the button, not the windshield, and then immediately put it up there. And we need to tape it in place because it has to sit there for at least 15 minutes. So we'll get it thoroughly glued up here, and then make sure it's facing the right way, and then the ridges are on the outside here. And we're going to put it right there. Oh, this thing slides around a lot when you are trying to hold it up here, so be careful with that. I'm just going to use a big piece of tape to hold it in place. Try your best to get it vertical and in position. There. Well, that's it's pretty straight. Oh, it's already starting to set. Okay, I guess we're staying there. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that tape on there and just let that sit for 15 minutes. And I'm gonna do the speedometer cable while we're waiting for that to cure. So I went ahead and already pulled out the speedometer cable, unhooked it from the back of the dash here and disconnected it from the transmission, pulled it out of the truck. Let's go over to the bench and take a look at the problems that I found with it. So here's the old speedometer cable, pulled it out of the truck, and the gear, this gear was on here. I took it off and I'll show you why here in a second. But one of the things I noticed, and maybe this is how it's supposed to work, but I'm not sure. If you push, see how that shouldn't move like that. I don't think it should. The reason why is when I try to put the gear on here, or a new gear, any gear, when I put it on here, this little, it's supposed to be a square shape, and it fits inside at the bottom of this gear. And when you put this on there, it pushes this out. And the problem I'm having is that I can't get this thing to line up right. And I wonder if it's because, I mean, if you see this end is just chewed up. It's just destroyed. Here, if we can spin this around, you can see that it's not square anymore. So it doesn't fit inside the bottom. You know, it actually fits up inside this piece here. It doesn't fit. So when you got to put this gear on there, it just pushes that out. And so I wonder if maybe a previous owner or something was trying to fix this. And when they were putting that on there, they just jammed it on there and it shoved this thing out and it was never connected. And so as this was spinning, it wasn't spinning this, which wasn't spinning the speedometer. So I went ahead and ordered a new cable because obviously that's not what we want on there. And a heads up, guys, make sure you're paying attention. You know, this end is correct. That goes on the back of the instrument cluster, but this end, I don't know if that's for an automatic transmission or what. I have a manual in my truck, so that's not gonna work. So there goes some money on buying that one. So I had to buy another one. I ended up getting this Scott Drake unit here. This is the part number. You'll notice that it's for a 64 to 66 V8 4-speed. That's a Mustang year set. So, you know, it should work because we got the end here. I think it's a 5/8 thread or something like that on this end for the instrument cluster. And then on this end, we've got the correct end for the gear. And while I was here, I went ahead and ordered just a new gear. This is, I believe this is a 17 tooth that's on here. So I just ordered another one of those and we'll just put a new gear on. What I didn't order was a new clip. So just pay attention that if you need to reuse the clip that holds the gear on there, hold on to it. But you can buy them, but I wasn't paying attention. So cool. So we'll throw this on here, oops, on this one. And then let's get it installed in the truck. You know, see when I spin this, it spins that. That tells me that the speedometer cable is engaged, which is what we want. And then we'll put this clip on. There. Now she ain't coming off. And we can go ahead and get this in the truck. I think the easiest way to do this is we're just going to feed this down below to where the transmission is. And then we're going to hook up the instrument cluster first, so that we don't try to fight threading this thing on the back of the instrument cluster and trying to pull on the cable so that we've got enough room. So we'll just do this one first and then we'll go down and hook it up inside the transmission. And let's find the speedometer cable. Oh, there it is. Okay. So simple, it just threads into the back. Though, remember that cable part that's inside there that's got a square end on it. Just make sure that it firmly plugs into this instrument cluster because that's what we need to spin the speedometer. There we go. And there's no reason to put a wrench on this thing. Just hand tight is sufficient, particularly if you ever have to service, get back in here for whatever reason. Sometimes that can be kind of a pain to take off of there. Cool. And then we just put this guy back inside and struggle with it at the same time. All right, and as we route this guy underneath here, we're just gonna put it right in the transmission and put the fastener in that you used on your other speedometer cable that holds this bracket in place. And it just uses a 7/16 socket to drive this in. There we go. And you'll see this thing fully seat. There's a lip on here that the lip of the cable housing piece needs to sit below, and when you tighten this bracket up, it'll drive that in there and fully seat that. So cool. All right. Now it's been more than 15 minutes since we let this set up, so let's see if we can get this mirror installed and cross our fingers that it's it's gonna stick. All right, so look at that. All right, and then we'll tighten this screw down. Awesome. That didn't work at all. I mean, as soon as I grabbed the mirror, son of a gun, it came right off. It's been almost a half an hour since I put this on there because I was messing with that speedometer cable. This thing just straight up, just not sticking. Okay, well, cool. I guess this isn't gonna work for this round. I'm gonna have to do it a different time. You know, and I think, oh, well, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Look at this. I can't move the I can't move the visors with this being this big. I need a much skinnier mirror. Oh, that's dumb. Well, I mean, I guess that's why we have this problem. Cool. So I will go order a smaller mirror. Gosh, I didn't even think about that. All right, heads up, guys. Make sure your mirror. I bought a big mirror because bigger is better, right? Dumb. Okay, well, I'll worry about that later. At least I've got side mirrors for now, but gosh darn it. Now I got to scrape this off. Oh well. All right, let's go for a drive and let's make sure everything works. All right, guys, we're driving. We're heading down the road, and the speedometer's working, so that's good. That's a win, right? Got that part fixed. And I still wish I had that rearview mirror. That's kind of silly, ordering the wrong size, but whatever. I can get that fixed. Mirrors are working. That convex mirror is doing a lot better job. I can see a lot more on the side, so that was a great upgrade. And then everything just works. This has been kind of a surprise for me with this truck. I expected to have a lot more problems. I mean, like the steering wheel's a little loose, or no, the steering, I can probably tighten up some of those bushings and stuff. I probably are gonna have to go after those kingpins on this front drive setup here. I'm not looking forward to that. That's one of those things that you do down the road, and I don't put a lot of miles on my truck, so it's not like I'm gonna blow them out in the next 2 weeks or something. But it just drives, and this is fantastic. And it drives so easy, so well. The seat's really cushy. I really need to start driving this to work is what I need to do. Let's head back to the house and wrap this thing up. All right, everything works, everything runs. Well, I mean, as much as it can, right, for now. The, again, not having that rearview mirror, it's still kind of awkward to drive without it, but I can get by with the two side mirrors, and this panoramic, or this convex mirror has really helped out a lot, made it a lot easier to see. And then of course, now that I've got that speedometer working, that I'm not gonna be speeding, right? Not gonna get a ticket in this thing. Cool, so yeah, I gotta get that thing ordered and then off to the next step. Awesome. All right, guys, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. And if you subscribe, I appreciate it because it helps my channel out. And we'll see you in the next one.